Let me talk to you. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, the man, the myth, the legend, RizGod, bringing you another episode of the RizPod, baby. The 17th episode of the RizPod, doing something new. We're not talking sports, but we're talking sports entertainment. WWE Summerslam. I got a great group of guests lined up to do something that's a first here in the RizPod. And what not better way to get it kicked off by introducing our guests? And what better way to introduce our first guest, reigning in from New York, the man himself, Steph Bundy. Steph,
what's going on? Thank you, Rizzo, for having me. Appreciate you.
Dude, I'm stoked to have you. How are you feeling? Talking wrestling, what's going on?
I'm feeling good right now. I have a lot to say about SummerSlam. Let's get into this wrestling talk, man. Let's get into it, man.
And before we get into the wrestling talk, rounding out the panel in this triple threat match that we have between me and Bundy, we're adding our third guest here is Mr. Kofi. Kofi, what is going on?
Yo, what is good, Rizzo? Bundy, what is good, y'all? I'm excited to be here. Let's get it on, man. Let's get it on.
And what better way to do that, guys? I'm so excited, guys, have you on. RizPod first, talking wrestling. I know we all have our own thoughts. Just to kind of give a little bit of a background, I was thinking to myself, like, listen, like, I love wrestling. It's been a while. I need people to talk to. So I hit up the guys that I know wrestling more than I do, and it's these two guys. So, fellas, what better way to kind of kick off SummerSlam than really just talking about the opening match and what an opener, in my opinion. And that goes between the YouTube sensation Logan Paul versus the high flyer Ricochet. Bundy, I'm going to kind of let you take over your just initial thoughts on like the buildup on the match and honestly your overall thoughts on these two guys, because in my personal opinion, like Logan Paul is an enigma. You either love him, you hate him. And I kind of want to hear your thoughts on just the overall storyline that these two have.
All right. So I weirdly like it because I feel like over time they did a little spots here and there that showcase, okay, Logan is capable. He can actually wrestle. He can actually be athletic. And then now it gives Ricochet something to do after he lost his title, because now his IC title, because now he can go, okay, now I can showcase who I am again, and help Logan Paul out. I thought they did a good thing. I thought it was all overall good build up so far.
Yeah, going into the match, I think Logan Paul's been in WWE like 2 years now. And I think going into it, a lot of people didn't like the guy, YouTube boxer. I mean, he's had a lot of controversies in his past. Yeah. But listen, I got to say, like, I don't want to say like I'm a Logan Paul fan, but what he's doing in the ring is like not to be like messed with. Like, the dude is entertaining on the mic. He is a high flyer, super skillful. Like, you look at the matches that he's been in against The Miz, a great match. Against Roman Reigns, arguably one of the best matches last year. Absolutely. Going into the Royal Rumble, had a great showing, that great spot with Ricochet, kind of like you were alluding to, with just having these little tips here and there. His Money in the Bank performance was great and absolutely stole the show, in my opinion, for an opener. Great heel, especially with that spot with him talking about the ring announcer obviously being Ricochet's fiance. Like, that was funny.
My baby's at the Irvin, man.
Yeah, he was... He was chatting up a storm, and it's so crazy to me because, like, this feud, low-key, in my opinion, is being carried by Logan Paul. Like, I feel like Ricochet is getting exposed a little bit on the mic to, like, not really being this great face, whereas Logan Paul is getting Ricochet these cheers because he's such a good heel. Kofi, kind of what's your thoughts on just Logan Paul, Ricochet, and the whole build-up?
So honestly, earlier you said you want to call yourself a Logan Paul fan. I will calmly step into that role. I'm a huge fan of Logan Paul. Honestly, when he first came in as a face, like kind of like a tweenerish, like you mentioned when he was going against Roman Reigns, I was for it even then, to be honest. Like, it was, but he really got into his stride as a heel. Like, he just knows how to work the crowd. He leans into the real life persona. Always has a bottle of Prime in his back pocket. Like, it's just perfect. Like, bro, one of my favorite, you're mentioning your highlights. One of my favorite highlights is his match with Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. That was a banger. Everything from his entrance to all the spots. him having the viral moment with KSI, also having another viral moment with Roman Reigns doing that dive outside the ring to the table. He's just literally money. Like if Vince was still here, I know that there's a lot of rumblings like he's still in the trenches, you know, but if he's still officially here, it's like he's a money machine. He's a cow. Like he's a money cow, you know. So
and I love that. Yeah, and I love that you bring that up because I feel like you look at all these celebrities that done WWE, and no one really compares. Obviously, Bad Bunny has been amazing.
I was going to talk about Bad Bunny.
Yeah. Bad Bunny's been amazing. Had a great match against Damian Priest. Like that crowd in Puerto Rico was unbelievable.
One of the greatest entrances.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, like you said, I think one of the best entrances ever. But Logan Paul just looks like a seasoned veteran. Like he's doing things that Triple H, like the legends of WWE, have never done in terms of just his like arsenal, like his move set with the frog splash, with the buckshot lariat, like the dives, like the high flying, like the suplexes. Like it's just
disrespectful.
He's like well balanced, and then his finishing move being the one lucky punch where it's like not believable.
But I know what you're saying. Yeah,
it's like, bro, you really gonna believe that Logan Paul is gonna knock the shit out of everyone when he can't knock out KSI?
Right.
It's just I don't know.
That is funny because he throws punches throughout the match. Right. It's that one punch that it is good though. I do like it.
Right. It's just like it's like a bit, and it's so good, and that's why I love Logan Paul, because like my whole persona about this Riz God thing is like, oh, I'm this macho man, when in reality it's just a joke. And I feel like Logan Paul's character kind of is that. So I kind of resemble him a little bit. But yeah, no, I think the buildup obviously was being carried by Logan Paul. But listen, like Ricochet, one of the best in-ring workers in the company. Like I think he was absolutely amazing. I don't know what match Ricochet does where he's not great. He's great at selling. He's great at executing. Like he was perfect. And I think this match really was a banger. And what are your guys' thoughts on just the match in general?
You want to go first, Bundy?
Yeah, let me go first real quick. I honestly thought the match was really good. It's probably one of the best matches tonight or that night. I did love the spot where he did the buckshot lariat to the outside. I thought that was crazy. I that's really creative. It's crazy how he could be creative in such a small amount of time wrestling. It's weird. But I honestly thought it was a good match. I was surprised it opened at first. I was assuming it was gonna be the battle royale because that was just like the throwaway thing. Right. But I'm glad it did, and you know, they outperformed a lot of the matches tonight though.
Absolutely.
A lot of the matches. Like, yeah, a lot of the matches.
I agree, Kofi. What you're making a face? What's your thoughts?
Honestly, so all right, so I definitely hear where y'all are coming from. Don't get me wrong. Like Bundy, I was definitely surprised that it opened. I was like, I heard Logan's music first. I'm like, you know, like I said, like he said, I was definitely expecting the battle royal first. Hear me out. They showed out. They had too many spots, like to the point where, and also just like Bundy, like the number one thing that's ringing to my mind of the highlight was the buckshot from in and out of the ring. That was like nasty. My only thing with the match, I felt like all the spots were like over rehearsed. I felt like there were like moments where moments where it could have been rehearsed a little more. Like they did kind of like a Spanish fly outside. And they kind of like tried to land on their feet, but they didn't. But they like played it off. Like there were like too many moments like that, where it's like, okay, like maybe y'all could have, you know, just bring it back a little bit. But also on the other hand, it also felt like they were holding back because keep in mind the build to the match was, oh, I'm gonna make you go viral. This is gonna be the most viral match in WWE history, etc., etc. It wasn't really that viral to me. To be honest, like there wasn't really that oh my god moment, like I mentioned with the with the Seth Rollins match, with the Roman Reigns match. Yep. Those had viral, like they literally did millions of views on TikTok, you know. So I'm just like what was like that oh my god moment, like, and then also one last thing, and then also the finish, like some random security dude, like
yeah, it was a random guy.
and remind you what I wanted to say earlier, how you guys were mentioning the one lucky punch. He has apparently titanium in his hand, or whatever.
Oh yeah. I did hear them say that. Yeah.
Right. So it just makes no sense that you already have titanium in your hand and now you need knuckles as well. It like I don't know. It just didn't hit as much for me as it did for you. So
Yeah,
I'm surprised to hear from the best.
Nah,
Yeah,
I was honestly surprised. Oh, no, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, Steph.
No, I was saying I was honestly surprised Ricochet lost that first because I thought this was gonna be a match just to, bring Ricochet up a little bit. I didn't think they was gonna have such a long feud. So I don't know where it's gonna go from here, but you are right though. There wasn't any viral. I think the Spanish Fly was supposed to be that viral moment, but
Right.
I'm gonna just chalk it up to like Logan Paul did not have enough experience. I know Ricochet could do it with his eyes closed. So
Yeah, I was gonna say I think the most viral moment is probably the springboard frog splash that he had, like with the height and whatnot. Yeah, I agree. I think that it felt a little too spotty in a sense where like it wasn't really like technical wrestling and whatnot. And obviously, like their buildup wasn't anything really personal to the last Monday Night Raw or whatever, or SmackDown when Logan Paul made those comments. And I just think the point of the match was to kind of get the crowd into it, like in Detroit. And I will say, I'm pretty disappointed with the crowd. I felt like the crowd was really dead, to be honest. Like, I felt like everywhere else recently has been popping, like the UK, obviously, Puerto Rico, like every main event has been popping, but Detroit kind of just fell flat. Because I think a lot of spots could have been like, oh my God. And I'm glad that you guys bring up the finish because I kind of want to conclude with the finish for the match. Part of me is I actually really like the finish in a sense that like Logan won in a very heel way with the brass knuckles. I think it was great. Ricochet sold it perfectly. The only minor flop I have, and everybody on TikTok and everyone's talking about, is like, why did the ref look away? Like he was like, don't punch me. Like that was kind of.
I thought the same thing.
It was like mad corny, but I think it was good for Logan Paul to win because he hasn't won in like a year. So you built him getting some momentum, and like Ricochet kind of is like, wow, like I got cheated out of a win. I don't know how much you can really build this story up. Like, what's the apex of the story? So that's kind of where I'm leaning. Like, I don't get it, but I think the finish was good because it makes both of them look good. Logan gets the win, and Ricochet gets cheated out of a win. So
yeah,
right. I fully agree with you. I definitely, Steph, I definitely had the thought like, okay, this could be like Ricochet's like big moment, but I feel like his magic lies within making other people look good. So that's why I'm like, and like we mentioned, like Logan Paul has a lack of experience, so this is like legitimizing him, like look, like I made this guy go viral at SummerSlam, blah, like, and what's crazy what the craziest moment for me, the most heelish moment for me wasn't the finish, but him trying to riz up, no pun intended, Samantha Irvin. I'm like, wow, like, so not only does she say your name, you make her try to say it again. Nah, like that's, and you kiss your fiance mid match.
Right.
I'm like, oh wow, like you're really going for it today,
Yeah.
So that was the most heelish moment for me.
Steph, kind of concluding on your thoughts on the finish.
It was cool. I did like what it did. I don't know about the random security. God, it was just random as hell.
Yeah,
like,
right.
I'd rather the kid who was giving him the proms all day. I'd rather him come out of nowhere. That would be cool.
That would be
funny. KSI was already involved.
Or see, if this was like an 05, it would have been Samantha Irvin giving him the brass knuckles, and then
that would have been crazy.
That would be crazy. But I mean, I thought it was cool. I thought it did what it's supposed to do. I don't know what they're gonna go from here though. I don't know because I know they're gonna have another good match. I just don't know, like how they're gonna build that up next. Like, I'm curious about that.
I agree with you just because like what's going to happen? Like Ricochet's going to get hit back in blood, and then what happens? Nothing happens.
It's still going to be 1-1, so it's going to have a third match. That's Triple H's thing.
I was about to say, I want to throw out there where I feel like the story's going. I feel like they're going for another match because I feel like me as a viewer, I wasn't satisfied. Like I want more. Like I
definitely want more
for sure.
So I feel like they have to, I don't know how they feel about the match, but I want them to. I feel like they're gonna build towards another match. How they build towards that match, I don't know.
I would love the next match to kind of have some stipulation. I think that'd be really cool. Like I don't know if I quit, but something along like a ladder match or like an I quit match, I think would be really cool between them because they could do crazy spots. They can have that heel moments
Ladder match
that,
would be insane.
yeah, that would be
Something,
absolutely
no
nuts
disqualification, definitely.
for sure. All right, to kind of wrap on the opening match, just kind of thoughts, maybe grade A to F. Steph, what's your overall thoughts on the match from an A to F grade?
A to F grade. See, because you were saying there's a lot of spots, and which is true, because like this match is more fit, like how the match was. It would fit more in the middle of the card. Because the beginning, it kind of like it was a lot, but I honestly give it a B. I thought it was a really good match. I could watch that match again. I like the match a lot.
Kofi?
Basically all the points I already said already. I felt like it was like very spot monkey-ish. It felt like it could have been just a little more polished. Like I said, for me personally, like you guys are saying viral every week, and I didn't really get that viral moment, especially in comparison to what you've done in the past with other competitors. Granted, more established competitors, but all that being said, like Steph said, it did what it had to do for its opening match. I was surprised at its placement, but it did what it had to do. So I would give it a B minus. Like it definitely did what it had to do with some room for improvement.
Fair enough. And I'm kind of going to go on the higher side of the B. I'm going to give it a B plus because I think as a fan watching the match, it kept me entertained. The story was calm and simple for an opening match. And I think it set the tone for a pretty solid pay-per-view. So I'm going B plus, Steph B, and Kofi B minus. So that was great opening discussion for that match. I'm really excited to hear us talk about the next match. My personal favorite WWE superstar in the game right now, I feel like Steph kind of feels the same way, is the American Nightmare versus the Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar. Kofi, I'm going to let you kind of take it away because I know you got some thoughts on this. Overall thoughts on the match, the build-up, the story, just the whole 9 yards. Take it away.
Got it. So just before we even get into that, like, can we just talk about that video package that they put on for that? Like, they really like documented everything, like the saga from the beginning, all the way till now. And we know WWE with their never-ending storylines nowadays. So the saga is ending today is like, okay, it added like that big match feel. Coming to the build. Like I just alluded to, the build was amazing. All the way from the beginning, I did not see Lesnar as a obstacle for Cody Rhodes. We didn't know what his path was going to be immediately after WrestleMania, and they threw something just as juicy, as Roman Reigns. So it's like, how can you not be entertained at that? The build was amazing. Lesnar basically sunning Rhodes every week until SummerSlam in front of his mom and in Atlanta. Rhodes, I love you, bro, but like in that build, I'm like, bro, think like the meme from Invincible, think, bro. Like this is the Beast Incarnate. Use some steps. Stop with this little suicide dot like hand to hand, you're gonna get washed. But that's the build. The build was great. The actual match, I want to say this is up there with my top three of the matches, top three of the SummerSlam matches. It was amazing. Rhodes fighting from the bottom, basically getting stunned by Lesnar in the beginning, and him having to persevere, take the pain. And my God, Lesnar made Rhodes look like a star. We already knew that Rhodes was a star, but this was like his second coming out party. I feel like his first coming out party was the Hell in a Cell with Seth Rollins when he was battling with one arm. Like that just showed how tough he is. This match showed that he belongs. Like he's a Titan. He's a main event player. He is not a fluke. Undesirable to undeniable. All of that. He lived up to the hype. 100%. And shout out to Lesnar for making Cody look like $1 million.
Yeah, I kind of agree with all that there. My only thing, so the build-up was great. I think the build-up is very great. My big problem with the match, and it's really just in terms of the predictability, right? Like Logan Paul and Ricochet, since we kind of just only talk about them, like I feel like we didn't really know what was going to happen. I feel like going into this match, we kind of all knew that Cody was going to win. Like that was my problem. And I felt like the whole match itself was really just like a count out frenzy. Like Brock Lesnar beating the pulp out of him, and Cody Rhodes. Like the one spot I really didn't like, Cody was literally like knocked out at 9, and the ref's like 9, and he just like gets up with super strength into the ring, and like obviously we know it's not real, but it's like, all right, like Cody just like had super strength all of a sudden. And another big thing, which was so confusing to me, like the match was not deemed no disqualification, and Cody beat Brock with steps. And I was like, what is this spot? Like, what is going on? So like, I don't know. Like there was a couple of things that kind of left me like, what the fuck is going on? And Cody's my favorite wrestler. I think he's great on the mic. His story, like, finishing the story, like everything is picture perfect with Cody Rhodes. And I think you outlined it perfectly, Kofi. But I just, everybody talks about this, and I think Cody's story is very similar to the Cena Rock story, right? Like you lose the first WrestleMania, go against the Beast Incarnate, get destroyed, build yourself up, and come back and win. And I feel like that's literally the same shit 10 years later, because what is Cody's story is still not complete. And I think Brock Lesnar is a good obstacle. Like it makes Cody look stronger. I just felt like I wasn't too high on the match. Like I just felt like he was getting beat to a pulp. Then he just, just became Iron Man and just beat the brakes out of Brock Lesnar, hit him with the triple crossroads, and then ended up winning the match. I think my favorite part of the match is just Brock Lesnar going from like sunning him every single week and beating the shit out of him to Cody beating him. And he's like he's putting Cody over, like shaking his hand, raising his hand. So like that was my favorite part, because it's like a lot of people are saying this is like Brock Lesnar's retirement tour also. So that was kind of like putting like Cody over. So I don't really know. Overall, I like the match. I like the finish. But it kind of left me a little like, it could have been better, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. Steph?
The build was cool to me. Except that he still didn't explain why he attacked him in the first place. That was random. But the build was cool. The build was cool to me. And I do like how now Brock Lesnar did everything to get Cody Rhodes over, but I feel like people are also not looking at how this is one of the I feel like it's another era for Brock Lesnar. Like this is because we went through an era where Brock Lesnar destroyed everybody. He didn't have to do too much, did a couple moves here and there, a couple suplex, destroyed everybody. But now we're seeing Brock is actually working. Now Brock is selling now. he's taking bumps. He's showing emotion. Like he's really working. So I really like that. The match was cool. The only gripe I had with this match was what you said, where it kept throwing him out. I usually think that stuff like that is like a 3-time limit, but they did it a little too long. That was a little weird. But overall, I feel like the match was good. I did like the story. It did what it was supposed to do, and I was actually surprised when Brock held Cody's hand at the end. That was crazy to me. I was like, this is Brock doing this to you. Cody, but Cody, he gotta finish the story. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of what Brock was doing, was like kind of putting him over. And it almost felt like, go do the thing that I couldn't do at WrestleMania and beat Roman Reigns.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
I don't know. I'm really excited to see what happens with Brock Lesnar, because like a lot of people saying it's the retirement tour. I think, Steph, you bring up a great point. Like one of my favorite parts of this whole story built up was like when Brock Lesnar took like a bump to the head and cut himself open with the turnbuckle.
My face.
Yeah.
My face. Like he sounded like a Batman villain. I'm like, oh my God.
Right. Like he was just like screaming bloody murder. Like it was so good. And like you said, Lesnar was working, and I think that's kind of a good thing to see in a sense. Like it was something different, because Brock Lesnar move pool is what? F5, suplex. I don't know what else is there, to be honest.
I was about to say, right? Yeah, that Kimura. Brock did some. I don't even know what he did. It was kind of like an inside-out suplex. Like he just threw Cody.
Yeah,
he really just. I'm like, what the heck? Like, I don't know if he was trying to do something different, if it just didn't translate well. But he just threw him. I'm like, oh my God. And also the Cody Kimura. Come on.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I feel like you guys are underselling this match. There were a lot of good.
No. The spots was
the top, the super cutter that Cody
Yep.
did? I'm
Oh yeah,
like,
when he jumped off the ropes, right? Yeah, that was crazy. He jumped from the middle corner to the rope on the side. That was crazy. I ain't gonna lie. I need that 2K23 ASAP. Need that ASAP.
Yeah.
Come on, don't do that,
Now,
bro.
I'm not underselling the match. It's just compared to Logan Paul Ricochet, right? That match is like spot fest, like you said. That's what we get
Right.
from that match. This match is more like there's spots
Story
in it,
driven.
but it's more about the story. Like it's just like
Yeah, it was straight to the point. It was straight to the point.
seeing Cody persevere and everything like that. So I do like the match though. I do like the match.
Yeah, I think the story, like Steph was saying, the story was more the key factor of the match, whereas the match was just like, all right, like, but there was definitely some good spots.
Right.
Like the Cody Kimura lock was great, like you said, the super cutter was great.
Mhm.
But I just felt like it was very predictable, and that was my issue.
I'm
So-
like, yeah, got you.
No, go ahead.
No, sorry. So, you guys said issue, and then my thing had just blacked out for a second. I was like, oh, no, but carry on.
And I was gonna say Brock made that Kimura look like it was really hurting though.
Yeah,
Bro, I'm telling you.
Brock's 280 and Cody's 220, and his Kimura lock is off.
Right. One thing that we're not speaking about also, can we mention how Brock was like SpongeBob with the ripped shorts at some point?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
That
Like,
ripped
how
shorts was
did
crazy.
how did your shorts explode? And then, mind you, like Cody's doing, he's holding him in for the triple crossroads, and then Brock is just like this. Like I'm just like, please be careful with how this looks. Like, like we just see bad boxers. I'm like, oh my god, like this could be very, very bad for 50,000 people and millions watching around the world.
See, I'm glad you said the triple cross. That's another gripe I have. I don't like the triple crossroads. I don't know why. Like I don't. For some reason, I just feel like it's too much. Like it's too much crossroads. I'll take two, but it's the third one. That's like, damn.
Hear me out, Steph. We still say we still talk about that Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes match to this day at WrestleMania. If Solo did not interrupt and that match and hit Cody with the Samoan spike, and he hit that third crossroads.
That's true.
Roman never know. So I know that it looks like a lot, but like, you know, like
it shows that it would have got the job done. If he did 3 at Brock, that means it probably would have worked on Roman.
That's true.
That's
true. That makes sense.
Like Cody, I feel like bro, there's nothing, bro. He's literally our Cena now. Like,
he's it.
Yeah, he is. He's it. Yeah.
Like he's already gotten endorsed by him and now by Brock. My thing about Cody's moveset, I love Cody. Like I've been a fan of him from AEW to WWE. My only thing with his moveset, I feel like it's not as hard hitting as like a Drew or a Gunther or a Roman or like like a Titan. Like
a powerhouse.
You know what I'm saying? So I feel like he has to compensate for that in creative ways. He has to do a super cutter. He has to do 3 crossroads. He has to do, he has to compensate in certain ways. Just one more thing while I have to make I know that you guys are a little iffy and off about like the ref discretion and like the gray area with rules. That's kind of what I'm alluding to also. Cody has to compensate for like he's going against a beast incarnate. God forbid he uses some steps for once. God forbid he like and like I said, he's a white hot baby face, so he's gonna beat that 9 count like 3 times. Like he's
gonna beat that.
Let's start to the game. Enjoy it, guys.
Now everybody know Cody extra. You know Cody extra, so he extra mile.
So just enjoy the ride. It's the American nightmare.
And I think what better way to enjoy the ride is kind of finishing off by grading it as well. I'm going to kind of give this match, I think very similar to the Logan Ricochet match. I think it does what it needed to do. However, this match is more story driven. I have a lot more problems with this match than the Logan match. However, I still liked it. I still think it did the job that it needed to do and propel Cody to that main event picture and kind of put Brock Lesnar into the sunset. So I'm going to give it a very calm B.
Okay.
Steph?
I like this storytelling better than the Logan Paul match. The wrestling, it was good. They would have to do. I can't see Cody having a bad match. I can't even see Brock having a bad match for real. Except against Goldberg. But I think I honestly, I give it a B plus. I give it a B plus just because of the story alone. The story is just real good. Like Cody knows how to do that. He knows how to get you invested into the story. So
Very true. And Kofi, kind of wrap it up.
Right. So for me, I think it's been pretty clear how I feel about this match. I feel like the story element was amazing. Build was amazing. I feel like the match was amazing. It did what it had to do. I feel like that should have been the first match in comparison to the Logan Paul versus Ricochet. You know, like you were emotionally invested in it. Granted, we knew who was gonna win, but like the way that Cody got put over, like that was a SummerSlam moment. So I'm gonna give the first A of the show.
Okay.
I'm not mad at
it. I'm not mad at it either. Two varying opinions. I like it.
And kind of, I'm running A too. So yeah.
There you go. There you go. Kind of segueing to what I feel like. Maybe I'm wrong. Is one of the weaker parts of the show. Let me talk to you. Whose game is it? Yeah, with Mr. Winner of the Battle Royale, LA Knight. Yeah. Winning the Battle Royale. I kind of want to hear your guys' thoughts on it. I feel like we kind of all a little bit agreed to it kind of being like a throwaway match, obviously with it being in the sponsorship with Slim Jim. I feel like with it being LA Knight, like it was his match to lose. Like who else really was a competitor like Sheamus? AJ Styles, like what does Sheamus and AJ Styles need this win for, right? Like I just felt like this is another predictable thing. But Kofi, I'll kind of let you take it away. What's your overall thoughts? Because personally for me, I don't have that many besides the fact that LA Knight is getting the momentum push that we need and the crowd and the fandom want. So kind of what's your thoughts on just the whole overall Battle Royale?
Right. So for me, I know we're gonna beat LA Knight to death. You know, like it's clear that this was his match. This was a sponsorship. You know, for just kind of lightly touching on that, I'm a little like meh. Like I had conversations with friends. I felt like this was like kind of like a throwaway, in the sense of like you baited us with the Money in the Bank, then you baited us with the United States Championship tournament.
That was crazy.
Like
absolutely.
I love that he had this moment. I love that it was at SummerSlam. I love that he's a new Slim Jim guy. He gives Macho Man. He gives Attitude Era throwback. It's just like, okay, we trust you to make money for us, like, which is a good thing. But it's kind of like a backhanded, like, you know, like here compliment. You go, like you know, it's kind of like a backhanded accomplishment. But regardless, I'm still happy for him. Anyways, because I know that we're gonna LA Knight to put some other spotlights on other spots in the match. I feel like everyone had a chance to shine. You know, Gable was doing amazing. What else? Sheamus, that bro kick to AJ, while continuing the story with Karrion Kross. You know, I felt like this Battle Royal did a good job of incorporating current storylines, weaving it into the LA Knight show. You know, what else happened? I was surprised that Riddle got eliminated early. I'm like, oh wow, that's interesting. You know, internal stuff. I was surprised that Ciampa eliminated both Viking Raiders. Omos was a surprise entrant. Everyone had to get him out. That's always a fun spot when they all had to team up to get the Giant out, put differences aside. So I felt like this Battle Royale definitely had some good spots, you know, outside of the LA Knight show. You know, like there were definitely some highlights. I'm curious of what your thoughts are, guys.
Yeah. Steph, go ahead.
So first, let me just say this: when Omos came out, I was like, "Oh my god, they better." I don't know how LA Knight gonna win, but they better win.
Yeah.
But I'm glad to see Omos back. I like Omos. I don't know what we're gonna do with him, but I'm glad to see him back. I honestly will say I thought the Battle Royale was solid and did what it had to do. It didn't overstay its welcome. I'm proud of WWE for that. They didn't do too much. Everybody had a spot, you know. Paul, I'll call him Paul because Triple H. I can't call him Triple H until he respects Riddle. Okay. Paul gotta stop disrespecting Riddle. Been disrespecting Riddle for too long. I'm out of it. Riddle was mad nice. He's over with the crowd. Like he's like come on, like what's wrong? I don't know what's going on, but come
You
on.
taking his name away? You got him on your shirt. That's not crazy.
That's that's Paul Levesque right there, whatever his last name is.
Yeah.
But I did like the match. Everything was good. Everybody did have a spot like you said. And they had the storylines weaved into it. Yeah, I'm just, I'm happy LA Knight won. He finally got something. He finally got a pay-per-view appearance.
Yeah.
That's for real. I guess.
It felt like a finally. Like
Yeah,
that's what I'm
finally.
saying.
But like, I need a big pay-per-view win now, like a singles championship win. Like, let him whoop on Theory or something, man. Like, come on.
I think my favorite part of the match, which was obviously we didn't know at SummerSlam, but we find out on Monday Night Raw, is he eliminates The Miz and like whatever. It's like whatever. And then they go on Monday Night Raw, and I think they have the best segment of the year with The Miz literally ripping LA Knight to shreds. And for the first time, I feel like LA Knight, like, and not I don't want to say scared, but what's the word? Like he was like threatened in a sense, like someone challenged him on the mic.
Right. Right. He did stutter a little bit.
He did. He was talking about like your career's in the toilet or something like that. And he had to like adjust. And like the Miz just ripped him to shreds. Like it was such a good segment. And what it looks like, and the reason why I'm not high on the Battle Royale is like you guys said, they're giving LA Knight like backhanded accomplishments. Like you tease us with Money in the Bank. Everyone is so over. Like he's going to get the briefcase, and then Damian Priest knocks him out. Crowd's heartbroken.
Pissed me off.
US title, it loses. Like it's nuts. And then now you have the Battle Royale. He wins. You think this is a push to Theory, and it looks like it's now going to be a storyline between The Miz and LA Knight, which I don't think is bad.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that.
Once again, it's Paul just doing long time storytelling, and I'm worried that you're just going to run it thin and people are just going to be upset and they're not going to be happy for an LA Knight win. I feel like you got to strike when the iron's hot.
Exactly. That was the same thing with how I feel with Cody in WrestleMania. Like now it's like that. I like Cody's always gonna be Cody. He's always gonna have good storylines, but it's like damn, like now you have to wait a whole year of stretched out storyline just to potentially we don't even know what's gonna happen. Get a championship win or something. So yeah, like I don't know why. I just feel like they're saying to LA Knight, yeah, thanks for selling those t-shirts, thanks for selling those merches, but we have what we want to do already. It's like it's definitely backhanded compliment.
Right. They're like, whose game is it? It's WWE's LA Knight.
Like literally, just piggybacking off what you guys have been saying, it definitely is like you feel Paul's influence on WWE creative. The storylines are seemingly never ending. Like we don't even gotta talk about the bloodline. Like and just so many other storylines. It's crazy. Like I said, I'm not mad at Miz versus LA Knight.
I'm not either.
That. Like that seems like a money feud on paper. I already love how they set it up. I would love to see that at Payback. They're gonna make him grind. For that United States Championship, that World Heavyweight Championship, whatever plans they have for him, they're gonna have him grind for it. Granted, it's a backhanded accomplishment with the Battle Royal win, but you can tell that they do trust him. They're taking it slow.
And they do trust him definitely.
Slow? Yeah, right. Like obviously us as fans, we want to speed it up. We want to see, like, we want the gratification now. Like, whose game is it? LA Knight. Like, we want it now, but I don't know, man. It's 50-50 with these things, WWE, there's a reason why they get paid, right? Like, and we're gonna, and us as fans, we're gonna tune in next Monday. We're gonna tune in next Friday. So they're gonna buy the shirt. So they're gonna, so let's just see, man.
Yeah, and I think what better way to kind of just continue the story in terms of just seeing what goes. I think overall, Steph, I'll kind of let you finish it off. What's your overall grade on the Battle Royale in terms of just the match or just like the LA Knight show, whatever you want to take it as?
Battle Royale was pretty solid. I mean, I don't see it. That's hard to grade it, honestly. I guess I give it a C+. It did what it's supposed to do. I want to give it higher, but I don't want to put it on like near the other one. But it did what it would have to do. I'm not mad at it. I do hope they just stop playing with LA Knight's name and Riddle, and just do what they got to do. I do want to propose though. I feel like this would be a real good win for LA Knight if he could be the one to beat Gunther after Gunther gets his reign thing. I'm just saying, I don't know, because Riddle feuded with Gunther. Who else could Gunther feud with? Drew McIntyre, which he beat him. He beat a lot of people.
Wait. Who beats Gunther? LA Knight?
LA Knight, yeah. I'm just because I feel like Gunther beat a lot of people already, and like I do have the people I want to beat Gunther.
I'll get to Gunther.
We'll get to Gunther once we get to that match.
But I feel like because Gunther's a heel, like Gunther's liked by people. A lot of people like Gunther, but he's not like he's a heel. People will love LA Knight. I don't know. We'll get to it. We'll get to Gunther though.
I'll kind of let Kofi finish it off. I think I'm going to give it a C. I wasn't like the match. It was whatever. Like I felt like wasn't like pay-per-viewy. Like I didn't have the emotional connection to the match. So it was whatever. LA Knight winning. I was predictable, but I was very happy to see that he at least got something that can get us fans to salivate. So I'm going to give it a C. It's a very forgettable match that I don't need to see ever again.
That's true.
Right. For me, just because we've been speaking about The Miz, one thing that I forgot to note that I really liked in the match, The Miz and Grayson Waller had like a "did we just become best friends" moment.
Oh yeah,
and that was amazing. Like just like The Miz and LA Knight sound like money on paper, The Miz and Grayson Waller sound like money on paper. Like they're literally like variants of each other, So that was really cool. For me, I'm gonna give the Battle Royale a C+. A C+ because like we already beat the bush on it did what it had to do, LA Knight show, etc. But I also like that they did make a conscious effort to include some continuity into the match, weaving the storylines, and I like where they're going with LA Knight. Like they've been teasing us, so they gave us something. It's like the secret is out on LA Knight right now. Right. It's like so now they're like, oh, we're gonna, oh, you almost had it, So that's what they did with the past two things. So now they gave us something. Third time's a charm, and I like where they're building towards. So I'll give it a C+ for the optimism. It's LA Knight. You can't mess it up.
Retrospectively, for a random battle royale, I don't think these are bad grades. So whose game is it with everybody saying LA Knight? Yeah. I just love doing that. So, all right. Kind of going over to what I feel like is the weakest match on the card for many, many reasons. We're going to kind of talk about Baszler and Rousey. I'm going to kind of kick it off because I got a lot of thoughts about it, a lot to discuss. And I'll kind of let you guys kind of give your takes on it. So obviously, like, best friend, like the buildup is like they're best friends. They were like tag team partners. They had the titles for so long. Baszler turns on Rousey at WrestleMania. Like it's, oh my God. Like it was WrestleMania. It was right? Where they turned?
Money in the Bank.
Well, okay, it was Money in the Bank. See, like to me, it's whatever. Money in the Bank, like, whoa, you costed us the titles. And then Ronda Rousey with reports saying that she wants out of WWE. But like the match is kind of like to build up Baszler. So they do a MMA style match. And I've seen a lot of people talk about it on Twitter. And I think that would have been such a great idea. Is kind of like incorporate it in like a cage, right? Like not do a UFC cage, but make it like a steel cage match. Like
Fight pit.
Yeah, right. Or something like that. Like
you have fire.
Like it would have been like I feel like it would have been so much more. But the match, the spots were like corny, in my opinion. Like it was like just punches, couple submission moves. I don't really know if it really built up Baszler to be this like super power contender for the title against Rhea or Io Sky now. Like I just felt like it was a very pointless match, and I just don't feel like the buildup was there. I think this was more so just like Ronda Rousey's goodbye. And it just, and obviously you do that at a pay-per-view and not at a normal weekly show. I just kind of felt like it wasn't anything like special. So Steph, kind of what's your thoughts on the whole Baszler Rousey situation?
WWE needs to understand if they're going to do a match like this, And like this is like the MMA fighting. You go watch MMA fight. There's blood. There's a whole bunch of bruises and cutting. Like at least give it give a little cut. You know what I'm saying? Give us a little blood if you're gonna go that route. The match was it was reports that they didn't get to do what they wanted to do. So I don't fault them. There was like very little spots, like the kick was really crazy. Like there was little spots that was real nice, but the match was kind of and the build. I was somebody who said this feud needed to happen a long time ago. The build was it was rushed. Like the story was fine behind it, but the build was kind of rushed.
Absolutely.
I just feel like they could have done a lot better with this, and this could have been a better match. It could have been in a fight pit or something gimmicky. So it's like if you can't have those MMA type of moves, at least hit somebody back with a chair.
Right. I agree.
So I understand what they wanted to do. I will say it doesn't propel Baszler to any type of world champ, but I do feel like this plants seeds for what's her name? Rhea Ripley to have some competition. Everybody else is very small. Everybody else gonna go after
Io Sky.
Io Sky, right? So I feel like this gives people some legitimacy. Like even though Rhea gonna beat her, now it's like okay, at least she can at least stand up to Rhea at least.
Right. Yeah, and I think that's the bright side of this. Is like you get her momentum to at least because Rhea's big as fuck. Like the only one that can really challenge Rhea, like in terms of like size and whatnot, and that's believable is Charlotte and Bianca. And obviously they're on two different like brands.
Raquel, they're building
Raquel.
Yeah, they are.
Too.
And I can't wait to kind of hear your guys' thoughts on that as well. However, to me, it's like I could live without ever watching this match ever again. And that's kind of how I like to grade a lot of these things is like the rewatchability factor, the build up, the actual match execution. Like I just felt like it was very pointless, but I feel like Steph, you were saying there were reports that they didn't get to do everything. So I'll kind of give them some slack there. Cause who knows, maybe they had a planned spot there or whatnot, but I just felt like if there's MMA rules, you're wearing the MMA ounce, like whatever, 6 ounce gloves. I'm trying to see some like crazy shit. And I just didn't see that. So Kofi, I'll kind of let you finish it off, but for me personally, I don't have much to really comment for the rest of it.
But can I say one thing real quick though? One thing. That spot where the medical team everything came in.
Oh, you took it from me. Damn it. Nah, go ahead.
Like I just thought about it, but I was just like, cause like at first when I seen that, I'm like, okay, somebody really hurt, like they really OD'd, and then it's like now you going back to it, like what's going on? If you watch MMA, that doesn't happen. Somebody come out like that, you lost. Something's wrong. Like, I don't know what's going on with them,
bro. Literally. So no, just piggybacking off of that was gonna be one of the main things I said. It like like Riz said, you're carrying the MMA rules, etc. That banner. And all this stuff, you're the 4 horsewomen of MMA, and I did not get MMA. It was kind of like, okay, like did you like study your source material? Like you're literally you have the baddest woman on the planet. Like it's like how does this get messed up? For me, the most memorable spot of the match was that step up knee from Ronda. That was nasty. I was like, oh yeah. You had your usual Ronda arm bars. You had your Kimura clutch, whatever it's called. I did like how Shayna was like biting her hand to like hold to keep the hold in. That was pretty dope. Like Steph said, I was not a fan of that stoppage. I literally like that's a rough stoppage right there. Like the match is over. Right. So that was definitely kind of weird. What I feel like with the match, the aura that is giving me, like kind of like how we were saying, this was Brock's like retirement tour, retirement match or whatever. I felt like Brock was satisfied with that retirement. Like I felt like he put someone over and he like still retained his notoriety. Mm-hmm. On the flip side, this was Ronda's retirement, and I felt or rumored or whatever, like her last match for a while, and I feel like she was not satisfied. I don't feel like Baszler was satisfied. Like I said, like you have the baddest woman on the planet, and this is an MMA rules match. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm not trying to be that guy. I like shout out women, but like that was a bathroom break match. Like it was pretty messed up. Like
Yeah.
and one more thing, like I said, I'm an AEW fan. So for fans of the AEW sphere, they did an MMA match with Wardlow versus Jake Hager, formerly known as Jack Swagger in the WWE. And granted, that wasn't the greatest MMA fight, but at least they like did something to like they had cages. I'm pretty sure they had a cage. They were wearing MMA gear, like they were doing actual MMA moves, like they made more of an effort than than WWE. So when I have that in the back of my mind and I'm watching this match, I'm like, damn, like I don't know if they're satisfied with that match. And it's sad because this is supposed to be Baszler's like coming out moment. This is supposed to be her shining, this is supposed to
and it
build
didn't
her.
feel like it.
And I don't know if they effectively did that.
No, and I go ahead, Steph.
And I was gonna say another promotion that's to piggyback what you said is Impact. They did a recently they did an MMA match. They have some I forgot what it's called, but there's like no ropes and everything. But how they did it is pretty cool. Like because it's like an MMA wrestling match, so they incorporate both. So it's pretty cool. So I don't know why WWE can't figure this shit out.
But you did Raw Underground. You do Raw Underground.
That's another thing too. That too. And they just did the fight pit with it was Riddle and Seth Rollins.
Come on, bro. They did not put the women in the best light this time.
Yeah,
not at all.
I don't think they really tried to execute and finish the story, and that's why I was kind of very low on it, and I still am. I think it is the worst match on the card, to be honest. I don't know if that's a shock. I'd probably give it a C- just because I want to respect the fact that at least they're building up Baszler to kind of be something, but C- for me.
Oh, you being generous. I was gonna give that like a D or something. I
didn't want to be that mean.
Like I hate to be that guy, but I don't even blame too much of Shayna. Like if you watch it back, it's really a lot of Ronda's fault too, because she's just weird. I don't know what happened after her first year, but after that, it's been like, all right, what you doing? Like what's going on?
Yeah.
Like, so if she ever come back, I'm gonna need her to go to the PC. I need her to go to NXT. I need her to go figure it out. Mess with Cora Jade and them, and then go back to the main roster, please.
You're not wrong, King. So it's D for Steph. Kof, what are you giving it?
So for me, like you said, Riz, I want to be a little more optimistic. So I will give it I'll probably give it your grade a C-. I want to say a C, but I feel like that's a little too high. But I also don't want to give it a D. It's just like damn, like D for damn, like that sucks.
Right.
What I will say, I'm hopeful for Shayna Baszler. Like it was clear that this was her match. It was clear that they believe in her and that they want to make her a threat again. Like for me, I'm friends with so many people that watch the golden era of NXT. I unfortunately was not in on that time. But all I've heard is that Shayna's a beast. So they did blah blah. So I'm very optimistic for where they take her because, like Steph alluded to, like both of you guys alluded to, like Baszler could be a threat to the women's division easily. Like she brings a different dynamic, And also, I like what they. At the time of this recording, we've had a Monday Night Raw, so a very great Monday Night Raw, by the way, and in which Shayna showed out. I forgot who she
I can't remember either.
I'm blanking. Anyways, but she had a good match. She looked great. Becky was on doing her best Triple H impersonation.
Zoe Stark. That's what she fought.
Thank you. And who was also great. I just blanked. It has nothing to do with the talent. They're amazing. For as much talent as it was MMA wise, it for the match, I'm just like, damn. But it still was, granted how we feel about it. It was Baszler's crowning moment, and they made her look good on Raw. So it's only looking good for her for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, and I agree. And I'm really excited to see kind of where they propel her. Kind of segueing over to the next match. It's going to be the second half of SummerSlam, basically the championship matches. I'm kind of excited to talk about this because I'm not more excited to talk about the match, but I'm more excited to talk about who's going to dethrone Gunther, and obviously I'm talking about Gunther versus McIntyre. I'll kind of take it away in the terms of like just my overall thoughts. I think the buildup more so was like with a lot of like past built up, right? Like it wasn't necessarily like the last couple of weeks or last month. Like this has been a build up for a very long time with McIntyre and Gunther. Obviously, with Sheamus being in there, it just kind of felt like McIntyre last pay-per-view came back. Oh my God, everyone's shocked. Now he's challenging Gunther. My big qualm with this match, first of all, it was a absolute slugfest. I think whatever we were talking about with LA Knight was like Gunther, McIntyre, these titans, like these loud chomps, the claymores, the power bombs, like just everything just felt like holy shit, like that would hurt. But a big problem with me in this match is kind of same thing with Rhodes and Lesnar. Like Gunther's approaching the record. We know WWE loves Gunther. We know they want him to have that record. Like it just kind of felt like, all right, this is pretty predictable. Like I expected Gunther to win. It wasn't a really long match either. I think it was like 10 minutes, which I feel like for a Gunther match, maybe he's on the shorter side. Like, I don't know. I obviously Rollins, Finn Balor, Reigns, Uso, and like the triple threat women's match obviously had more story and built up to it. But I don't know. I don't know if they really didn't. They like to me, it felt like, all right, McIntyre, Gunther, go out there, Titan clash, sumo wrestle in terms of just impact blows, and then just have Gunther retain. And I kind of felt like that's what happened. Whereas like the other three championship matches, I felt like had story, built up, great in-ring work. And like obviously McIntyre and Gunther are great in the ring. I don't know. I kind of left the match wanting more and just wanting to know who is going to dethrone Gunther. And I feel like LA Knight is a good conversation. And others are kind of going to be a good conversation to hear your thoughts.
Okay.
So Steph, can I take this?
Oh, yeah, 100%. I'm going to take that.
All right. So for me personally, like Riz, I feel like you're underselling this match, my brother. Me personally, this was my second favorite match of the card in front. So this is my top three. Just spoiler. Rhodes, Lesnar, my favorite match of the card, Finn versus Seth. We'll get to that obviously. But like the way that you're making it sound, like, oh, just go out there and have a like that is what they're supposed to do, and they do it the best. No one does it better than Gunther right now. First off, can I give the Ring General a proper entrance? I demand your gratitude for the Ring General. Gunther! Come on, bro. I feel like they're like, yes, you had the chops, but what impresses me about not only the Ring General and also Drew McIntyre is this like they're doing things that should not be humanly possible. Like McIntyre's doing topes over the top rope. Gunther is doing his top rope splash.
It's so beautiful. So beautiful. Like a little
beautiful. He's like a circus bear. Like, you know what I mean? How are you doing this? Like, I feel like their slugfest, yes, like it was straight to the point. We knew who was gonna win. And et cetera, et cetera. Everything that you said, I hear what you're saying. But let's not act like we have scrubs in the ring, bro. Like, no, they did not have the crazier build in comparison to the matches that we've been talking about. But they've earned that. They've earned that right. They don't need a build. No, it was not the WrestleMania triple threat match, but we're still talking about that match months later. You know, like that's a match of the year candidate. So I feel like they've earned that right to not really have as much as a build in comparison to the other story-driven matches. So I'm super high on this match. No, it wasn't as glamorous, but Gunther's not glamorous. He's there to kick ass and you know, put asses in seats. I feel like they did what they had to do, and Drew still looks like a beast. Yeah. Drew could turn heel. We don't know what's going. Like, no, we don't know where they're going. We don't know who's gonna dethrone Gunther. Me personally, we got Chad Gable maybe, but I feel like there's so many possibilities with what you could do, and they both look great. They did what they had to do.
Yeah. I did like this match a lot. I don't think it's Gunther's best match, but I don't think this match is anything bad. The only gripes I had with this match was because we knew Gunther was gonna win. I felt like we needed more. Like, oh, is next time Mike gonna win? Like, is he gonna? I didn't think we had too many of those false finishes. I don't know. I didn't see anything that was like, oh yeah, Gunther about to win this. Like, I mean, Drew about to win this. Like, I didn't really think. Like, you know what? After Drew did the power bomb, I was thinking like, oh, he did a power bomb, but he did the power bomb. Then he did the DDT after.
Yes, I love that move, man.
Yeah, so like, but I just didn't feel like I don't know. I just didn't feel like there was any point where I was like, oh yeah,
more too. Like they had some 2.99 counts in that match, bro.
Yeah, they definitely did, but I didn't believe it. Like, I didn't feel like Gunther was put down enough for that. I just didn't believe it. Like,
I'm right
with my problem.
I'm right with Steph on that too, and I think that's why I was kind of making the comments in terms of it being a slugfest. Like, obviously, I felt like it was very predictable in a sense that we knew Gunther wasn't going to lose, but I just felt like yes, they were close finishes, but I didn't feel like McIntyre had like that moment. And I think we'll talk about the Jay Roman match where like I felt like there was like a moment where it was like, oh my God, like this might happen. Like I just didn't get that from this match.
For sure.
Yeah. That and the finish, I was kind of iffy on the finish. Like,
I was waiting. I love that finish, bro. Like I actually texted you, Steph.
Yeah.
I was saying what I love about Gunther's matches is that you know when they're gonna end. Like when he gets
you definitely know.
When he gets in that consecutive offense, bro did the top row splash. If I'm not mistaken, he did a clothesline. Then he did the last symphony. I'm like, come on, bro.
Whoa, the last symphony. Whoa, hold on. He's an old school man. That's a power bomb. Okay.
Yeah.
Traditional power bomb. My it was like I love that finish. Like Drew, like I feel like that just shows how much of a threat Drew is. I was about to say Sheamus. Whoa, he was an odd man out this time. Gunther has a history with Drew, and he knows what Drew brings to the table, so he had to put his ass down. He had to make sure that he's done, and by damn it, he was done. You know.
And I think what I was gonna say is I think the reason why this match is good is because Drew leaves looking still powerful, like he still leaves looking good, and I think ultimately what this build-up really is, in my opinion, is just Gunther once again taking like his stride into becoming like world champion, right? Like I feel like somebody is going to challenge him once he breaks the record, steal the title away from Gunther, and Gunther's like, fuck it, I don't need this shit no more. I'm going for the big belt. So I think that's kind of what we're aiming for right now.
Absolutely.
But that was my only problem with the finish, because this match did make Drew look strong. I don't think he should have lost to the power bomb. Obviously they're trying to protect it, but
that's
Gunther has wait. But Gunther was doing another finisher too that he was putting people away with. That's why I was assuming it's not gonna be the power bomb that's gonna take Drew out. It's gonna be that new finisher.
This is his new finisher now. I think this is his new finisher. Like it's called Last Symphony. Like I think
you're talking the power bomb. The power bomb been his finisher. That's been his thing. I'm talking about the other. He had another one. It was another one he did.
No, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying I think this is his new official.
Right.
Like he was doing another one, but I think like this, like they're putting it over the power.
Okay, that makes sense. I thought because I was assuming he kicked out of that one and he's just like I gotta pull a new shit out. All right, boom. Right. But okay,
no, you're not bugging. You're not bugging.
Mm-hmm. Okay. But who I think I was going who would beat Gunther and take his title? I already said my names. I texted you, Kofi. It was Chad Gable and it was Ilya from NXT, because Ilya is the one who defeated Gunther's streak before. So I'll take that. But I'd love to see LA Knight with that IC gold. That also, if he has IC title, that means he's gonna be on TV every week, and he should be at all the pay-per-views. And I just think he'll give him a good pop over Gunther, because Gunther's he's just been unstoppable, and then you take LA Knight. It's his game now, so
right. Because I feel like the U.S. title is also another enigma, which luckily we don't have to talk about.
Don't get me stuff started on that.
We can talk about that on another episode when we digest that. But the United States title with Austin Theory, it's a lost treasure. We'll just say that. But I think LA Knight beating Gunther. In my opinion, with Gunther, like whoever does dethrone him, I don't think beats him in a way where it's like, oh my God, Gunther. Like I feel like, wow, he stole one from Gunther. You know what I mean? I feel like that's how they're going to try to do it because they want Gunther to still stay strong for that world heavyweight title.
Because Ilya, when he beat Gunther, it still made Gunther look strong, but it was like then Ilya really did everything he can and broke Gunther down, and it was amazing. I ain't gonna lie. So I do hope they go that route again.
Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like Drew still can do it.
Drew
Sheamus
can.
still, I feel like he's like Gunther has a lot of worthy competitors to potentially take the chip from him. Just to lightly touch upon the Austin Theory, bro. This Intercontinental title reign is the greatest indictment on the United States title. The United States title is forgotten.
Yeah, I
personally, the IC title reign is my favorite title reign right now, even above the Bloodline right now. Like what Gunther has done.
That's fact. No, that's facts. That's facts.
Oh, you agree with me?
You shouldn't even have that title, but that's another conversation for another day.
Like, I'm not mad that they're doing everything in their power for him to catch a honky tonk man. Like what he has done, like Gunther is the best Intercontinental champion since Jericho, and Jericho put that he's synonymous with the Intercontinental title. I feel like
my personal opinion, I believe Santino is a better Intercontinental champion, but that's just.
I'm not mad at that either.
I'm not mad at that. But yeah, bro.
Go ahead. No, you can finish it off, Kofi. We'll go on.
But yeah, bro. Gunther, like I said, bro, his title reign is just it's sacred at this point. Just like he treats the mat sacred, the ring is sacred. Like it's just a work of art. I don't care who beats him. I don't want him to get beat. And I feel like when he does, no matter who it is, he's still going to look great, and he's still going to be a worthy competitor to for the world title.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead, Steph.
I will be upset. Like I do like Drew. I do like Sheamus, all them big guys. I will be upset if it's any one of them because it's like they're world title guys. Like and you know they're good IC champions, but like
make someone new for sure.
But like Chad Gable been working, man. He gotta get something, man.
Yeah,
like Chad Gable, and then he did that good match with Gunther too. That 5-minute challenge. So then that's plants the seeds right there. He can keep up. So I feel like please, Paul, please listen.
Can we have Gunther actually win the Royal Rumble this time? Like he showed the hell out just as much as Cody at number 2. Can we have him just get shotgun straight into the world title picture, please?
I think honestly, I think he's probably the favorite for 24.
Yeah,
so just kind of giving a grade for it, or LA Knight. It's kind of just giving a grade, just leaving it at a grade. I'm giving Gunther McIntyre, even though I kind of shit on it. It's not my top 3 favorites of the night, but I will give it a solid B. I think it was a great match. I just felt like I've seen it before. So, Steph,
I give it a B+. It did what it did. It was a good match. It made them both look strong. Very entertaining. I just wanted to believe more that Drew might steal it from Gunther and really take the title, but it was a good match.
Right. Yeah, and then Kof.
For me, I can't put the match over anymore. In comparison to you guys, I want to give it a B+ like Steph, but just because like I'm so high on it, I'm gonna give it an A-. No, it's not their best match, especially in comparison to that WrestleMania Triple Threat, which is a literal match of the year candidate. But it still did what it had to do. The Ring General is continuing his campaign into the number 1 spot for the record, and I'm all the way for it.
Yeah, and what better way to kind of segment the world title picture than the world title match? Kofi, you already said this is probably your favorite match of the night. I think this is my favorite match of the night.
It's mine too.
Super excited for us to kind of dive this in because
a unanimous.
I feel I feel like we have a lot to talk about this, and then the women's triple threat has a good spot in there, and then obviously we got the Bloodline. But I'm super excited to talk about this match because the story is so good. The build-up is so good. everything about it was so good. Obviously, Monday Night Raw has all been about the Judgment Day. Like the Judgment Day is in literally every single segment.
They run
Seth
Monday night.
Yep, they run Monday nights. Seth Rollins obviously is the visionary, like he's the champion. Everybody is chanting his theme song, like he's got the crowd. He's super over. And then Finn and Rollins 7 years ago at SummerSlam, Finn Rollins had this where he lost the title because of the injury from the buckle bomb. Like everything was just so well built up. And I was just super stoked to see it. So many good spots, so much tensions rising. The reason why I was so down on the Gunther McIntyre match that I think this match really had is so many believable close finishes. Like there were so many times where I was like, Finn is going to win. Finn is going to win. And he didn't win. And the finish to him not winning is even crazier because it's Damian Priest kind of costing him the match. And that the tension there is rising. Like, I don't know the direction that it's going to go. Like, I feel bad that Finn is losing. Like, I'm like genuinely upset. I'm like, dude, Finn is never going to fucking win. Like, they make him lose every single time. Like, I deadass thought Finn was going to win. Damian was going to cash, or like Damian was going to threaten to cash, and the Judgment Day was going to break. And that didn't happen. So I don't know if this is like a WrestleMania moment between Finn and Priest. Like, I don't know what the direction is, but that match was absolute cinema. Favorite match of the night. I'm giving it an A. Spoiler alert. I just thought there was nothing wrong with it. Kind of want to hear your guys' thoughts onto why you guys loved it so much, but that's kind of my reasonings.
So I go first.
Yeah, go, Seth.
So this match for me had everything you needed from a match. It had the wrestling. The wrestling was great. It had the spots, the false finishes. I thought Finn was going to take it a few times. And the storytelling around the whole match was absolutely amazing. Like this, like I see WWE basically trying to follow some type of bloodline formula with this with this Judgment Day. They're doing real well with this. And I did, and that was my theory too. I thought Finn was gonna win, and it was either gonna be Damian Priest to cash in, and like now Finn had another short reign at a world title, or it threatened to cash in. Now they have a whole feud go on. But you know Triple H, Paul, and his long term storytelling. So it's like I do have hope that it's gonna go on for a while, but it's gonna be great. I do expect them to see them at WrestleMania, but this match, this match was real good. This match was amazing. I'll say that. This probably should have been the main event, but hey.
Yeah, I agree. Kof, kind of take it away onto why you love the match.
The stuff just really quick. How you said it was the main event. Technically, it was the main event. It was just one of 4 main events. Also, quick aside. I'm sorry for my special guest here. My little boy. I'm putting him over, but for me, this match was perfect. You know, it literally had everything that you wanted. Riz, like you mentioned, it was literally the antithesis to the Gunther and McIntyre match. Like super up tempo, super fast paced, multiple fast false finishes. It was amazing. It was like you said, Paul and 2 of the greatest NXT champions ever. Like that was a classic NXT match. You know, just on a grander scale. For me, to add on to everything that you guys said, which I agree with everything. Riz, I'm gonna get to you with the Damian thing right now. I hated the way that they did my boy Finn, bro. Like it's crazy. Like
I agree.
Kind of picking up from where you're coming from. Like what does this man have to do? What body part does he have to sacrifice to finally get it done, bro? Just the only part where I disagree with you is Damian cost him. Finn cost himself. Damian, I think it was like, I know there was like confusion on the IWC and Twitter and everything. Like, oh, like what was the confusion? And they also tried to say on commentary that there was confusion between them. But it was clear as day to me that Damian was only there to help. He tried to help twice. Then you have the rest of your faction come out. So it's damn near a 4-on-1 now. You have 2 briefcase spots, both of which you mess up. by my estimation, when I was doing my little recap in my head and looking on social media and stuff, there was about like 5 or 6 times outside of just the actual match itself before the Judgment Day came out, like because he had him beat with the coup de grace, he had him with the pedigree and all this. I'm like, yo, Finn, like you mentioned, Finn had multiple points where I'm like, oh my god, it's gonna happen, and man, it's just like, what does Finn have to do, man? I just don't see him as a threat anymore. Like, we're gonna give him a third match now. Like, if there was ever a time to put the chip on him, it was now.
I was gonna say the exact same thing. Like, I feel like Finn is cooked. Like, I think he's cooked. I don't see him ever winning the title again, because what is this gonna do? He's gonna win at Payback. Like, why the fuck would he win at Payback? Like, literally the false finishes. Like, and the more so about the Priest thing, wasn't more like Priest purposefully cost Finn, but it was like him saying, like, take the briefcase.
Yeah,
And, like,
Finn was like, oh, there's a plan A. Like, no, we're
right.
Plan. I'm like,
right. It's like, bro, you're not beating him dolo anyway, so your plan A is cooked.
It was a 4-on-1, Riz. A 4-on-1.
I don't get it. And to me, what this is building up to me, and it's like long-term storytelling, is the Judgment Day turning on Finn Balor. But it's what to turn him maybe face again. But I don't know. Like, what does that do? Finn Balor, to me, you had Demon Finn Balor when he was at his peak. Obviously, you don't want to dethrone Roman Reigns or whatever, but like, he could have won the title there. The build-up is great. The story is great. 7 years later, the same opponent. You have a whole faction behind you. Like, why? It's SummerSlam. Like, why not give it to him? And I feel like
poetic. It was poetic.
Yeah, and I feel like it's the same thing with the bloodline, in the sense, like, you can have everybody, like, Priest has the briefcase, Rhea has the chip, Dom's got the NXT chip, Finn has the title now. Like, that's the most successful faction since Evolution. You know what I'm saying? Like, like, that would be elite, and you can have like drama within the faction and whatnot. And Seth can still do his own thing. Like,
Seth is Seth,
yeah. I don't know, and that's my only problem. But it's not really a problem, because it's like wanting me to know what the fuck is going to happen. Like, what is going to happen? But in my opinion, Finn is so cooked. Like, you cannot convince me, like, as like a casual
not for a
fan.
third match, bro.
Right.
No
like, what are you going to do? You're going to just have Judgment Day literally jump fucking Seth Rollins and win. Like, Finn Balor can't beat him alone. So what's the point? They jumped him the
Monday before.
Right. Lost. Right. I don't know. I think that's my only gripe, because like Finn Balor literally looks useless now.
Yeah.
But the whole story, the whole match, everything was great. Obviously, curb stomping Finn to the briefcase. Maybe that's foreshadowing. Like, that could be long-term storytelling. And Paul, like, who knows?
Well, they have to.
Finn wins the title at WrestleMania with the briefcase, but Damian takes the briefcase and beats Finn. I don't know. Like, maybe it's like foreshadowing, like maybe it's that. But overall, I loved the match. I just feel bad for Finn, because there is no other way this man can win the title.
Yeah, and the only thing about when he was trying to help him, he was discouraging the help. The only thing I was thinking of was more so like, Finn is basically saying, I don't need your help to win this title.
That's also what I thought too. I'm like,
but
the freaking help. Like,
but I do think that he should have won, because it's like, if he would have won and they had that dynamic where it's like he feels nervous around Damian Priest now because of the briefcase, that would have been beautiful. But I don't know. I'm assuming they're gonna go the route of Damian cashes it in sometime, and then when he has a title, that's when Finn is like, you know,
I want it.
Yeah, I want that from you.
Right.
I think it'll be. I'm saying I think it'll lead to something, but I think Paul got to stop playing with these long term. Like, that storyline got to be long as hell. Like, some things could be the couple, like medium length. Like, everything got to be mad long.
Right? No, for real. I was just gonna say this really quick. I don't think, like, especially since we know now that EO cashed in. Even before that, I didn't think that Damian was gonna cash in. The route that I thought that they were gonna go, I thought they were just gonna go the paranoia route. Like, Finn is the champion, but Damon keeps looking over, like, with his little briefcase, and you know, like he wants a belt too. Me personally, since we lightly alluded to the United States title, and I texted Steph about that, I wanted Damian to win the United States title while Finn has his world heavyweight championship, and now they're all dripped out on gold. Everyone wins. No paranoia. Judgment Day still runs Raw. I love the paranoia. I just don't want it to lead to a breakup. Judgment Day is literally the number one, because the bloodline is no more. Yeah. They're the number one faction right now. And I feel like it'll be very premature if you do too much with it. Like we're gonna get to the bloodline, but like I feel like you're jumping the shark just a little bit. Like chill out with the cracks, but it's TV, right?
But in defense though, to see how we always reference the bloodline, like they broke it for the most part. Like right. Technically, like there's people going in and out, like they don't know what to do over there. So it's like I feel like they can still break up, but still we're gonna classify it as the Judgment Day per se, because it's still like within the story. But right. I only one I really see. Like I see Dom and Rhea staying together, and sure. Damian. I just see mostly Finn breaking away, and he's doing this thing with JD McDonough too.
I was just about to say that. Like they've been teasing that for months now, and the Monday Renee, like JD's in, like they're planting those seeds, like so JD and JD.
So that's what I think the directions they're gonna take is that Finn and JD have beef with maybe a broken up Judgment Day.
Like a Judgment Day Civil War.
Right. Right.
I do not have that thought at all. But damn. They're literally setting up for a Civil War.
Yeah. And a Civil War. We're gonna get to another Civil War because that's gonna be a whole rendezvous. But before we get into that, we're gonna go obviously to what might be the co-main event. Obviously, is going to be the women's heavyweight championship between Asuka Belair.
We didn't give our grades.
Well, I remember that we gave it the best match of the night. So
right. So that speaks for itself. A+.
Yeah.
A plus all around. Kind of going back to no worries. So kind of going to the Asuka Belair Flair match. Obviously, the whole thing with this is Io Sky cashing it in successfully on Bianca Belair, and I think that's what I mostly want to talk about. I think there was a lot of reports saying that a cash-in was going to happen. People didn't say if it was Priest or Io. Obviously, it being Io, I think the route that they took with Belair, I was actually very happy with, because it's like some people were speculating like Flair is going to win, add another title to her resume, and then fall to Io just because it's believable that this is like the big moment for Io. But with Belair winning with that injury, like I just felt like the cash-in was so like believable in that sense. And like I feel like this gives Belair the opportunity to go heel. Like Bianca's been just a powerhouse, been like an absolute monster as a babyface. But now that she got the title taken away from her without her having a fair opportunity, with her winning the match, the finish, honestly, I'm a little like, I don't know if I like it, but it's believable because Bianca was injured. And then obviously Asuka blowing the mist in Charlotte's face. Like, a lot of people on Twitter, I feel like, were very low on the match because they're like, oh, like there could have been more. Like I felt like there was a couple botches with Charlotte getting the moonsault off the top rope, completely missing Bianca. Like I don't know. Like it didn't really do it for me. But like Io was the saving grace. And the reason why I'm so excited about Io being champion is because I think we're gonna get a damage control Civil War too. Like I think it's gonna be really cool to see that. But I think the bright side is new face that can run the place in Io Sky. Bianca can go heel, and then whatever, Asuka and Charlotte can kind of just do their own things.
I do agree. I wasn't really thinking too much about Bianca going heel, but since the Hurt Business 2.0 came, so now I'm thinking, okay, I feel like Bianca going heel would be really good. She's overdue for a heel turn anyway. But I did like how the finish went. I'm glad she won. The title of Charlotte getting them freaking overinflated W's. Like, please stop it.
Yeah.
But I'm glad she won. This does give basis for the turn heel. Io Sky, I do wish they like, at least with the women's Money in the Bank, give it some time, build it up. Like they try to do it as fast as possible all the time.
I agree.
But this was a good cash in for Io. I do think she's a good champion at damage control. I'm surprised they didn't attack her at the end. I thought they was gonna come attack her, and I was like, oh, now we starting it now. But I
Right.
guess Paul gonna take his time with that. And and I do hope, because I feel like they've been waiting for Bianca to turn heel. They just been waiting for the right moment. And that last time she fought Io, and Io and the crowd was on Io's side, I feel like that would be the perfect moment now to turn heel. But to a point you said too, where what you said, she turns heel, and the finish with Io,
Yes.
and she was hurt, and Io, and made it believable. I'm
Right.
glad you said that, because we've seen Bianca Belair defy all odds. She's super
Yep.
strong. The last match, she had to like the fake arm injury, and then she was holding Shorty up with one arm. Like, she's
Bro.
crazy.
She's
So
literally like Super Cena in women form.
yeah, it literally. So it made exactly. So it made a lot of sense that, like, it had to take an injury for all that to happen. So I'm
Right.
looking forward to heel Bianca next Friday, hopefully.
Right. So for me personally, like, Riz, you alluded to it. So just quick little thing. I'm like, everyone. I feel like everyone's a heel person nowadays, and I love heels, but I'm a sucker for a great baby face.
Me too.
And I have to disagree with you guys. Like, yes, I know that it is super over. I feel like making people heels is like the band-aid always. Like, okay, just make them bad guys. Like,
It is.
but I feel like Bianca is their female Cena. Like, and not and just Cena's my president. Like Cody Rhodes is the current president, and I believe in Cody Rhodes.
Cena's my goat, by the way. Cena's my goat.
Fair. But yeah, so like Cena's our Hogan, but all that. So like, if you're breaking from that mold, I'm automatically gonna like you. And Bianca's my baby, Me and Steph, I gotta do some tribal combat over Bianca. But, with all that being said, like, I felt like this was a great Bianca Belair match. Riz, you lightly alluded to like people being low on the match. Like, I'm like 50-50 on the match. Like, with the talent in this ring, it's like you can't have a bad match. But like, I felt like they, especially Charlotte, like, just kind of like phoned it in a little bit in terms of, like, I felt like they could have upped the tempo a little bit more. I feel like the spots that the high spots that they went for didn't really hit as much. You also alluded, like, you're right on the money with that moonsault and then the Asuka DDT. Like, they could have done better. My personal favorite spots of the match, everything you had to do with Bianca, like everything from her false injury, the way she sold that injury. My lord, it's like
people thought she was dead as hurt. People thought she was hurt.
Like,
I was panicking. I was like, no, please not Bianca, please. Like, I was panicking, yo.
Bro, like, she had like an Emmy-winning performance. Like, it was like her house was on the line, with that scream. I'm like, oh no, my baby. So and everything from her coming back, immediately hitting that 450. It's like, I don't understand the unnecessary hate for this queen. Like, how can you hate her? Like, bro, like, she does everything that she has to do.
Yeah, there's a lot of hate.
Like, she literally has the most marketable. She has the most marketable gimmick. But all that being said, unfortunately, it had to be overshadowed by Io Sky. It was definitely perfect. Riz, again, right on the money, alluding to like how they booked the match. It was beautiful. Like, they somehow found a way to give kryptonite to Superman of the match, and they made her injured, so they made it way more believable for the cash in. And Bianca still gets another reign under her belt. I feel like everyone wins, and Belair did not. Flair did not win, thank God. So I feel like everyone won. So.
I amen to that, because I don't know if I could have stood another Charlotte title reign. She's at like 16. She's at some stupid shit now. Like, what, 15, 16? I don't know.
She has as much as her father, who had like a 40-year
career. Yeah, bro.
She has two more. She has 2 more to match Ric Flair and 3 more to beat Ric Flair.
Yeah, that's absolutely not. And what, a 10 to 12 year career? That's nuts. But yeah, with that being said, I think we'll kind of go with the grades to lead it off to the main event. Honestly, I think Io Sky really does save this match. I'm gonna give it a B minus, and that's only because I love the spots that Bianca Belair was in a sense. Like the story was very believable. They had Io's cash. Honestly, I feel like this might be like the best women's cash in like to date. Like I don't know, maybe I'm forgetting one or two, but like I
I
really
like
love the
the
Io.
Liv Morgan cash-in. That cash-in was pretty
That
awesome.
yeah,
I feel like that was cool.
yeah,
That was
that was cool.
That was a good one. But carry on.
But Io Sky beating Bianca Belair, the story was believable. It was at SummerSlam. I thought it was really good. I'm gonna give it a B minus, just because I wanted more.
good. I think I'm agree with you. I'm gonna give it a B minus as well. I thought it was a pretty solid match. They did a lot of good things during the match. Yeah, I'll give it a B minus. It was a calm match. I will say too, Kofi, I agree with you. I do like the baby face, and I wouldn't mind if they stuck her with like face. The problem is in WWE right now, there ain't really that much like heels. Like besides Rhea Ripley, like everybody else kind of like even if they're bad, they're still a tweener or like they're just trash like Lacey Evans. But like nobody really like there's not really any heels. So that's why Bianca kind of got stale because it's like she would go against Asuka, but Asuka's a heel, but like not really. People love Asuka. Like come on, she went.
Sonya.
Yeah, Sonya. She went against Io. Everybody love Io. So it's like it's hard. Like Charlotte Flair, people like Charlotte. So it's hard for her to go against certain people.
I think that's just like with all that being said, I feel like that's just like a representation of how the women's division is. It's like a lot of gray areas, a lot of question marks, a lot of like potential and et cetera, but alas, right? That being said, I'm gonna give the match. I think we have our first unanimous grade, so I'm gonna give it a B minus. For everything that you guys said, I hate that Bianca got overshadowed by Io Sky, but also it deservedly was overshadowed by Io Sky. That moment was amazing. I felt like the match was like solid. It did what it had to do. It was calm. We all wanted more. But it showed all of it highlighted all of their bright spots, right? And just like everyone else, I feel like I could speak for everyone. If it was just that match alone, it would be like, okay, Bianca is the champion, which I love Bianca, but it's like I want more. Yeah. So I feel like they knew that, and when I heard Io Sky's music, that was the most exciting moment for me. I was like, so yeah, like kudos to Io Sky. She deserves it, and I can't wait to see what she does as champ.
And with that being said, we're going to the main event, the thing that everybody's willing to talk about, wanting to talk about. But before we talk about that, talking about Roman Reigns, the head of the table, the tribal chief, the GOAT of all GOATs, Roman Reigns. Before we get into talking about Jey Uso, let's take a moment to acknowledge our tribal chief, Roman Reigns. Throw it up. Yes, sir.
I'm not throwing it up. I'm not throwing it up.
You crazy for that, but I gotta throw it up.
We acknowledge the tribal chief here, unless he's roasting Cody Rhodes. I will say, if there was a time for Roman Reigns to lose the title and it not be Cody Rhodes, this was the time. This was the time. I truly believe it. Sami Zayn had his peak. Yes, I know, Sami Mania. Everybody wanted it. But to me, nothing would have been better than Jey fucking Uso getting the Ula Fala, getting the title, becoming the head of the table tribal chief at SummerSlam. And I know we have a lot of thoughts on this, and I have a lot of thoughts. First off, this is Roman Reigns' longest match ever during this title defense.
Is it?
36 minutes, yeah.
I did not know that. Wow.
And I will say, like, it didn't feel like a normal Roman Reigns match, which I genuinely like. Like, there was a lot of built up. There was a lot of story. There was a lot of, like, moves. There was a lot of false finishes. Not that Roman Reigns doesn't have that, because I felt like past title defenses like Sami Zayn was a great match. Logan Paul was a great match. Like, he puts on good matches. Honestly, I'm pretty low on the Cody Rhodes Roman Reigns match at Mania. But I just think this match just had more to it. And I want to hear your guys' thoughts on the finish, because obviously that's the big one where everyone's like, oh my God. Like, we literally got Jey Uso doing a fucking 2-on-1 for the billionth fucking time. And then
technically three.
Yes. And we see like a possible solo Sikoa, like not fucking with Roman Reigns. And there was a lot to this match, a lot. And I don't know if we can divulge every single sector of the match, but one thing that obviously we're talking about is Jimmy Uso costing his brother Jey Uso the match. Yes. And like I said, dude, before that, I actually thought Jey was going to win. Like, I was like, oh my God, it's happening. And Jey Uso pulls him aside. And I want to let your guys' thoughts, because I'll say this, but I'm not going to lie. I don't like the finish. I don't like it.
You're not alone.
I don't like it.
It's a spoiler. You're not alone.
I think a lot of interviews recently were coming about like, what's Jimmy and Jey, like what's left on their resume, and they're like versing each other at Mania. And I think this is what's happening, is like they're gonna verse each other at Mania. I feel like there's gonna be like a Bloodline Civil War, possible Fatal 4-Way, because there's like all these like cracks and whatnot, maybe at Payback or Survivor Series. I don't know. That's like what rumblings are saying. But to me, it makes no sense. Like, Jimmy literally convinced Jey he's worth more. Like, he's like, stop fucking kissing his ass. Like, you're main event Jey Uso. You got this. And then Jey Uso's like, I'm with you, brother, and beats the brakes off Roman. And then he's about to win the title. And Jimmy's like, nah, fuck that. I take it back. Like, to me, it's fucking stupid. And obviously, to me, it just feels like they're prolonging the story for Mania, where Cody beats Roman Reigns. So, Steph, I'll let you kind of take it away, because I know Kofi has a lot to say about it, and I kind of want to hear his thoughts. So I'll let you kind of just take it away in terms of what's your overall take on the whole match and whatnot, because obviously we know the build-up is phenomenal and whatnot, but just your overall take on the finish and the thoughts.
The match was a Roman Reigns match. I always say he doesn't do any grapple moves. I don't know why. It's a whole bunch of punches and
formula.
The whole formula, the whole bloodline formula they got it going on. I'm disappointed in they made it seem like it was supposed to be really some Samoan shit. I don't know any Samoan culture. I don't know anything about Samoan culture, but where's the woo sa woo? Like where the bass paint at? like where's the drums? Like, I need to see some culture within the match. The match did what it was supposed to do, but we was all waiting for the drama. That's what we was all waiting for.
Yeah.
I was saying because I was confident in my idea of what was gonna happen, because Jey ripped up the paper, so I'm thinking, okay, we're gonna have to have the match. He's gonna win, become the tribal chief, but Roman's going through his shit like, oh nah, you ripped up the contract, you can't have my title. So I thought it was gonna be something like that, but we got Jimmy turning. I feel like this is real forceful way to give us that Jimmy versus Jey WrestleMania match.
I
agree.
Like if he say, like, even without the title, say Jey's the new tribal chief, but now they could have something where Jimmy's not feeling how Jey's the tribal chief, or Jimmy feels a little jealous, things like that. They ain't have to just like you said, Rizzo, you helped Jey get out of Roman's clutches just so you could turn on him and go back under Roman. Like, I don't understand how, Roman was confused. He was looking like, yo, what is wrong with this guy?
He's like, fucking idiot.
He's like, this guy's dumb. So I'm confused. I don't know what's going on.
Paul Heyman looked like he knew something.
Yeah, Paul Heyman looked like he knew something.
He was like his classic scowl, but
did he call Rikishi? Like, what happened? I don't know. I don't know what happened, but the finish was real weak. The match was a formula. It was a formula, but I was hoping something. This overall WrestleMania, the whole SummerSlam, I was hoping something big, like, oh, we got a new cousin. Oh, this is something. Oh, Rikishi coming. He's helping Jey take it down. Like, I thought it was gonna be something cool, but no, they gave us a regular bloodline match. Like, I need something big from it. Another letdown for WWE, like always.
I agree. I think it was a pretty big letdown. Like you said, that would have been hilarious. Like a cousin, or like Rikishi or someone coming out and taking the Ula follow from Roman's neck and is like, "You're not the tribal chief. The tribal chief would never do this." Like some shit like that.
Something crazy like that. Like
No.
something where it's, I don't know, but something that's different from what we got from the last like 4 matches
Right.
of that was going on with the Universal title. So
Man. Yeah, but I didn't want to interrupt you, but literally, there's not much that either of you have said that I do not agree with. So I'm just gonna try to add some new thoughts to it. To kind of piggyback off what you're saying, like, bro, what something that really threw me off about this match was all the interferences, but in the build-up to the match, Solo was about to spike the hell out of Jay, and then he was like, and then Roman stopped him. So it was like, no, like, so everything that I've gotten leading up to the match, I'm like, this is a sacred ass match. Oh, you spoke to the elders? Oh, like it was the elders' idea.
Yeah.
Like they were in shambles about this. So I'm like, nah, this is gonna be some like this is probably gonna be the most emotional match that we gotten since the original Hell in a Cell, which started this story, bro.
Mhm.
So, bro, man, go ahead.
I was gonna cut you off because I was like, you put the nail on the head. Like I thought it was gonna be like Roman is gonna like if Roman was gonna win fair, he was gonna cry before he speared Jay, and it was like a Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair. He's like, "I'm sorry, bang," or some shit like that. And it's literally Jay Uso beating the brakes off his brother, throwing him in, and Roman's like, "This guy's a fucking idiot." Spear, match over.
Bro, like, oh man, I'm telling you, I literally the first thing I texted Steph, I'm like, this match, the finish was so bad that I was literally inspired to write to do a video essay about it, come out of YouTube retirement and do a video essay about this. Like it was that like I felt like my intelligence was insulted. Like really. like I'm such a huge story person, long-term storytelling, etc., etc. And I feel like this match single-handedly undid the 3 years that you guys have subjected me to. That's one. Then you guys are now making this, granted, a story that's overstated is welcome, but still entertaining. We still tune in every Friday. Oh, what's the Tribal Chief gonna do? But you made this story so much more harder than what it needs to be. You created an uphill battle for what? You know? And number 3, it's like we keep on mentioning WrestleMania match, but between the brothers, but it's like, does that supersede not only the match, but just everything that I've seen? Like the Bloodline Civil War doesn't matter anymore. If we go back all the way to the beginning, when Jay was the right hand man, when Jimmy was injured, he came back for both matches and was like, "Yo, Roman, what the fuck are you doing?" And then when Jimmy was back in the fold, he's like, "Yo, like, what are you doing to my brother?" Like he saw the manipulation. It wasn't until like he saw like my understanding of the story was that the Usos are in the bloodline for each other. You know, that was the culmination of the Bloodline Civil War. Quick thing, I was in the crowd on MSG on July 7th when Jimmy Uso got sent to the hospital. So I'm emotionally invested into this, right? Your twin brother is fighting in your honor, and you
cost him the match.
But yeah, that's
like I'm really trying to contain myself for time's sake, but like I felt like brain cells die when I saw that. Like
I just think the apex of what Jimmy and Jay are gonna be is pointless. Like Jimmy is gonna beat Jay up for what? Why did he costed him of being the tribal chief? So I did see a TikTok, which is long-term storytelling. Like Roman Reigns was screaming to Jay, like, "You think you're gonna be the tribal chief? The tribal chief can't be a twin," which is, I guess, alluding to like obviously Jay not winning. But it's like I feel like it would have been better for the story if Jay won and Jimmy's like, "I can't, I thought I could stomach this. Like I thought I could be the second brother or like the lesser twin, but that shit is bothering me." Like, and then he challenges him. Like that would have been crazy. But like, what the fuck is the point? Like, okay, Jimmy beats Jay at Mania or Jay beats Jimmy at Mania. Now what? Now they're gonna be like
Bro.
Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy, and then just be the Hardy Boys again.
Oh my-
Like it's pointless.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. I don't understand why they did that.
One of the worst storylines of all time.
Yeah,
The Jeff and Matt. But,
yeah.
I don't know how they're gonna spin it. Like I just feel like they're gonna pull something out their ass and just try to make it. Honestly, I don't even think Jimmy is gonna fuck with the bloodline like that. I think it's just gonna be like he got his own personal agenda. I don't know, but like it don't make no sense. Like it's probably gonna be like, all right, Solo gonna go to Jay's side then, and then Solo gonna turn on Jay, and then Jimmy gonna go back to his side. It's gonna be a bunch of bullshit going on. Like this feels like a TV show that just never ended. Like
it's like it way overstayed their welcome. Like it should have ended in season 5, and it's like season 8, and they're just like all fucking each other's girls or like some teen drama shit. It's like,
mind you, Paul Heyman said that we're in the 3rd inning right now.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's
I'm like,
another
we're 3 years in.
Another cousin also tweeted that too. I'm sitting there like, yo, what was you at?
Yeah.
You tweeting everything.
Bro.
You better get out of MLW, go to WWE and stop playing. Like, what you doing?
Bro, literally, I would have taken any other finish. A 4th Uso, another cousin, do the turn after them. Roman could have still won clean. Or however dirty, I don't care. Do the turn after the match. Right. My number one thing, like I don't even care that they're forcing this match or shotgunning this match. It's that I feel like they have not done an effective job of telling that story up till now. Like I have not gotten one hint of jealousy from Jimmy at all.
Right.
Everyone is doing overtime detective work. Like, oh no, look over here, bro. No, look, you didn't notice this, bro. Like, bro, I feel like people are forcing it now. Like
they're reaching.
Like now because they got the finish, now they're like, oh, so look, he cost him all these. All those times were feeding into the story of the Usos versus Roman and Solo for the Bloodline Civil War. Now you guys are gonna try to do overtime detective work to give us another Bloodline Civil War, a Fatal 4-Way, or Jay versus Jimmy for shit that no one asked for, bro. You could do the Jimmy versus Jay a different way. If that's what you want to do, cool. Do it more effectively. You know,
there's another thing that's just rushed. Like they could have, like you said, like had the he could have had the tribal. He could be the tribal chief. Had a little jealousy going on because Jimmy did say he was the tribal chief not long ago. He did say that.
So they both said they're tribal chief.
So it could have been some jealousy going on, but now they just like it just WrestleMania is a long time away. Like you don't have to force the shit now. Like we're
gonna mind you, Steph. We're gonna get this match at Payback. We're not even gonna get it at WrestleMania.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. We're gonna get it at Payback or Survivor Series. You think I want to hear a Jay Oos, yo chill, like for
yeah. How can you do me like that, Oos? I'm not fucking with you, Oos. Like I just don't see where the story can go. So kind of just wrapping it all up in terms of this match. Obviously, we're kind of bashing on the overall story and whatnot. Personally, regardless of the criticism, I really did enjoy it. Like, even though I was like, dude, this shit just got me tight. I was invested. It kept me entertained. I really thought Jay was going to win.
Yeah.
I would have gave this match an A. Obviously, with Jimmy coming into the fold, I got to drop it down to a B+. I only got one A on the card, and that's Finn and Balor.
Yeah, me too.
But yeah.
I gave A- to Gunther. Yeah.
Yes, you did. But for me, I'm giving it B+. I really enjoy the match, but the finish really knocks it down a couple tiers for me. Kof, I'll let you go, and then Steph can wrap it up with the grade.
Yeah. So we've like you said, we've beat this into the ground, so I'm gonna try to keep it brief. It really wasn't Roman's best best match. Like we alluded to, it's the same thing every time. You're gonna get a ref bump. You're gonna get a Paul Heyman spot. You're gonna get we didn't expect the Jimmy spot, but I did like the spots that they did. I love that Samoan drop to the table outside. Yep. I love, this dude Jay pulled out a tope con row out of nowhere, over the top rope. He did another suicide dive. Apparently, that's where Roman got injured. It looked weird to me, but I like the spot before the actual landing. I'm gonna give it a B+. Just like Riz. It did what it had to do, but that finish is just, and I feel like I'm being generous with the B plus. Like I was so turned off by it. Like it was like, oh, there's so many things I haven't even said. Like, but you know, like this for time's sake. So, Steph.
Yeah, and then Steph, wrap it up.
I don't know what to rate this damn match. It's too because I've seen it before. Like I've seen it too many times. And I've always been critical of Roman's wrestling. Like Roman wrestling is like whatever. Like he don't really. I don't blame him. That's the character. Like
right.
He's not supposed to do too much. But it's like I like NXT Roman and how he wrestled. But I give it a B minus, literally for story only. Because I'm sitting there watching like waiting for that. What's about to happen? When's the ref? Right. When's the ref bump? Is Jay actually gonna win this? Like, is Jimmy gonna come out and help him? Like, what's about to happen? Gonna be
I was about to say, bro, we're having a 2-on-1. No one's gonna help.
Nobody.
Like tribal chiefs don't have beef with nobody. We can't. Sammy KO not on the card. We can't see them. Like, no one else has tribal chiefs screwed. Like, no one's. Jason's going on by his own.
Nobody's fucking with Jay apparently now.
I promoted this to AP. I was saying like when Roman had his match with Cody. I would assume like the locker room would just come out and help him. Like they tied Roman shit. It'll put Roman over through the moon, but like everybody's tired of the blow, everybody's tired of their shit. Like just have everybody just come out. At least everybody
fuck him up.
Yeah, bro, everybody come out. I don't know. Bro. Everybody watch him just dominate, just like okay, this was
bro. No Rikishi, like nothing,
bro. Like, where's they father? Like it's three sons, three brothers. Where's they father at? Like what's going on?
Beat the fucking ass.
Yo. And also Solo got put through the table just like Jim. Like it was perfect. Like it was like Jay pulled Solo to get the. It was perfect to get the spear. It was perfect. Like,
but I'm gonna rate this. I'll probably rate this a B minus. Yeah, I'll give it a B. I want to give it a C plus, but I give it a B minus.
Fair enough. I feel like that's pretty low, but the story does kind of carry it.
The story. The story's good.
Yeah, like story carries. And also one more thing, we still have. Everyone keeps on saying, "Oh, if you didn't like the match, then stop watching." I'm clearly not gonna stop watching WWE because of one match, guys. Right. Yes, I'm gonna tune into Friday. Yes, I have to hear this weak ass explanation.
Like I watch Rampage. You know, like come
on. right.
Like it's a story that they're forcing onto us. So unfortunately, I don't have the luxury of stopping watching. I have to watch it. I have to see it through.
At least we watch it. Then criticize people who don't ever watch it and criticize it. So
yo, you know what I'm saying? Like if you're putting it out, it's open to criticism, guys. I don't like to be spoon fed shit. like I have eyes.
All right, boys. Well, with that being said, in terms of grading all the matches, I kind of, before we wrap up the outros, I kind of want to give everybody the opportunity to give their top 3 matches as well as their overall grade on SummerSlam as a pay-per-view. Kofi, I'll kind of let you start off. Steph, you go second, and then I'll kind of finish it off.
Cool. All right. So for me, it's easy for me just since I already alluded to it earlier. My top 3 matches in order. You got Rock versus Cody, number 3. Number 2, Sheamus, Drew. Well, yeah, Sheamus, Drew, and oh my goodness, I'm bugging. Drew Gunther, and number 1, Finn and Seth. And my overall grade for SummerSlam, I'm gonna give it a B minus. The reason being is that everyone that I was talking to about SummerSlam, I felt like the last SummerSlam was, and mind you, last SummerSlam was the first pay-per-view under the Paul regime, and that literally felt like a summer spectacle. It was a summer WrestleMania, you know. I love the full circle with EO and Damage Control debuting at last SummerSlam and now reigning at SummerSlam. That was amazing. The Finn Seth, we can't say anything more good about it. Matches did what they had to do, but I was just left wanting more. And then you end it with that nasty finish that I now have to wait until August 11th to watch. I'm just like, like, you know, Paul's gonna Paul, you know, the long term is gonna
Paul's gonna Paul.
So let's see.
Yeah, a B, and yeah, go ahead, Steph.
My top 3 matches is Finn, Then and Seth, of course. Second Gunther and Drew, and last is I'm gonna go with Ricochet and Logan. Surprise Cody on my list. I love you, Cody. But yeah, that's my three. I'm agree with Cope too. I'm gonna give it a B. I think it was a solid pay-per-view, but there was no surprise. Like it's SummerSlam.
Whoa, no
Like when I watch a Royal Rumble, when I watch a SummerSlam, when I watch a WrestleMania, when I watch a Money in the Bank, I expect a surprise. I want to see like what's about what's cool, what's new, who's debuting or something like that. There was the only surprise I seen was Liv Morgan package. I'm just like, all right, cool. whatever that's for. But there's no there was nothing. Ooh, like I guess they would probably count the EO cash as a surprise, but come on.
The EO cash in and the Jimmy turn.
I'm kind of on the same boat. I'm actually gonna give it. I know Cole gave it a B minus. Steph, you gave it a B. I'm also gonna give it a B. I think for SummerSlam, arguably being the second biggest pay-per-view of the year, I just didn't feel like wow. Like obviously the J term, but that's upsetting. EO cash in is great. But I didn't really, there wasn't like, I don't feel like this is going to be something where people look back in 10 years and be like, SummerSlam 2023 was it. You know what I mean? So to me, it was a B. Top three matches, obviously Finn and Balor. Number two, I'm giving it to Logan and Ricochet. I just love the way that they started. I wish the crowd was more into it because I think it would have been more like just more crowd energy. And then number three, I give it to Reigns and Jay. It's the bloodline, man. If I had to give like a number four, it would probably be Gunther McIntyre or Cody Brock. Obviously, I don't really know. But at the end of the day, with it being Paul is going to Paul and just fuck up SummerSlam somehow. But yeah, guys, it was a pleasure having you guys on discussing SummerSlam. Absolutely electric. I can't wait to have you guys on when maybe we talk Survivor Series. Who knows? But before we kind of wrap it up, I do want to give you guys an opportunity just to kind of just say your final goodbye, say your outros, whatever you want. Cove, kind of take it away. What do you got to say?
All right, Rizzo, first off, it was a pleasure you having me. Huge fan of what you're doing. Keep on going with the content. You're going strong. You're growing a following. So I just want to give you your flowers really quick. And I was honored to be here now, and I would be honored to be here in the future. I would love to keep on talking wrestling with you guys. For me, I'm Kof. Y'all can follow me on IG at Kof the Youthful. I'm a graphic designer. Fuck with my content, and DM me if anything.
I just want to say, Rizzo, thanks for having me on this podcast. I've been wanting to do this wrestling thing for a while because I feel like, there's a lot to talk about because turning the storytelling and everything. But thanks for having me. Do hope we can do this again. Y'all can follow me on the socials. I don't even know what my Instagram is. It's like I forgot what it is. But YouTube.com for Steph Bundy.
Not Bundy. Not Bundy.
Yeah, no, I think it's like not.bxndy, whatever. YouTube.com Steph Bundy. eBay is Bundy's Closet. I sell everything. I got wrestling toys on there too. But yeah.
Go show my boy Steph some support. Kofi, thank you guys both for the kind words. But with that being said, I just want everybody to know it's your boy, the man, the myth, the legend. Everybody wants to know whose podcast is it? RizPod. Yeah. And with that,
yeah.
Myth, the legend, RZ, guys. And we're signing out. Good night, guys.